Welcome student. Good morning. Today I am going to teach unit 2nd of financial market and services, that is monetary policy. In this topic I will discuss meaning of Reserve Bank of India, functions of Reserve Bank of India, then last monetary policy. First, what do you understand by Reserve Bank of India? As we know, the Reserve Bank of India is the apex financial institution of the country's financial system, entrusted with the task of control, supervision, promotion, development, and planning. RBI is actually the queen bee of the Indian financial system, which influences the commercial banks' management in more than one way. No doubt, the RBI influences the management of commercial banks through its various policies, directions, and regulations. Its role in a bank management is quite unique. In fact, the RBI performs the four basic functions of management, that is planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, in laying a strong foundation for the functioning of the commercial banks. The RBI is wholly owned by the Government of India. The Central Board of Directors oversee the Reserve Bank business. About the Central Board has primary authority for the oversight of the Reserve Bank. It delegates specific functions to its committees and subcommittees. Central Board of Directors, by the numbers, if we will discuss, in the official directors, there is a one governor and four deputy governor at a maximum. In the case of the non-official directors, there are the four directors which are nominated by the central government to represent each local board. And there are the 15 directors nominated by the central government with expertise in various segments of the economy, and the one represent of the central government. RBI was recommended by first Hilton Young Commission in 1926, and it was established on April 1, 1935, in accordance with the provisions of the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. The central office was initially established in Calcutta, but was permanently moved to Mumbai in 1937. Then functions of RBI. Traditional functions of RBI are those functions which every central bank of each nation performs all over the world. Basically, these functions are in line with the objectives with which the bank is set up. It includes the fundamental functions of central bank, and they consist of the following tasks. The first one is the issue of the currency notes. The RBI has the sole right or authority, or we can say that monopoly, of issuing currency notes except 1 rupee note and the coins of smaller denomination. These currency notes are legal tender issued by RBI. The RBI has power not only to issue and withdraw, but even to exchange these currency notes for other denomination. It issue these notes against the security of gold foreign securities, rupee coins, exchange bill, and promissory notes, and the Government of India bonds. Next one is banker to other banks. The RBI, being an apex monetary institution, has obligatory power to guide, help, and direct other commercial banks in the country. The RBI can control the volume of banks' reserves and allow other banks to create credit in that proportion. Every commercial bank has to maintain a part of their reserves with its parents, that is RBI. Similarly, in need, these banks approach the RBI for funds. Thus, it is called as the lender of the last resort. The next one is the bankers to the government. The RBI, being the apex monetary body, has to work as an agent of the central and the state government. It performs the various banking functions such as to accept deposit, taxes, and make payment on the behalf of the government. It works as a representative of the government even at the international level. It maintains government accounts, provides financial advice to the government, it manages government policies and the public debts, and maintain the foreign exchange reserve on the behalf of government. It provides overdraft facility to the government also when the government faces the financial crunch or the problems. Next one is the exchange rate management. It is an essential function of the RBI. In order to maintain the stability in the external value of rupee, it has to prepare domestic policy in that direction. Also, it needs to prepare and implement the foreign exchange rate policy, which will help in attaining the exchange rate stability. In order to maintain the exchange rate stability, it has to bring demand and supply of the foreign currency close to each other. Next, credit control. Commercial bank in the country creates credit according to the demand in the economy. But if this credit creation is unchecked or unregulated, then it leads the economy into the inflationary cycle. On the other hand, creation is below the required limit, then it hampers the growth of the economy. As a result, central bank of the nation like the RBI has to look after for a growth with price stability. Thus, it regulates the credit creation capacity of the commercial banks by using the various credit control tools. The last function is a supervisory function. The RBI has been lot of powers for supervising the banking system in the country. It has the power to issue license for setting up new banks, to open up new branches, to decide minimum reserves, to inspect functioning of the commercial banks in India and abroad, and also to guide and direct the commercial banks in India. It can have periodically inspection and audit of the commercial banks in India. another functions that is known as a development function, and I will discuss one by one all of them. Development function or the promotional function of RBI, along with the routine traditional functions, central bank, especially in a developing country like India, have to perform other functions. These functions are country specific functions and can change according to the requirement of that country. The RBI has been performing as a promoter of the financial system since its inspection. Some of the major development functions of the RBI are maintained below. Development of the financial system. The financial system comprises the financial institutions, as we have already discussed, financial market, primary, secondary, capital and money market, and the financial instruments. The sound and the efficient financial system is a precondition for the rapid economic development of the nation. The RBI has encouraged or established of main banking and non-banking institutions to cater to the credit requirement of diverse sectors of the economy. The next development function is development of agriculture. RBI has to perform or provide a special attention for the credit need of the agriculture. It has successfully rendered services in this direction by increasing the flow of credit in this sector. It has earlier the Agriculture Refinance and the Development Corporation to look after the credit, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD, and regional rural banks. The next one is the provision of industrial finance. Rapid industrial growth is the key to the faster economic development. In this regard, the adequate and timely availability of credit to small, medium, and the large industry is very important. In this regard, the RBI has always been instrumental in setting up special financial institutions such as ICI, IDBI, and Exim Bank. Next, provision of training. The RBI has always tried to provide essential training to the staff of the banking industry. The RBI has set up the bankers training colleges at several places. National Institute of Bank Management, Banker Staffs College BSc, and the College of Agriculture Banking CAP are the few examples in this regard. Then, collection of data. Being the apex monetary authority of the country, the RBI collects, processes, and distributes statistical data on several topics. It includes interest rate, inflation, savings and investment. This data proves to be quite useful for the researchers and the policymakers. Then, promotion of the banking habits. The RBI always tries to promote the banking habits in the country. It has set up many institutions such as the Deposit Insurance Corporation 1962, Unit Trust of India 1964, Industrial Development Bank of India 1964, NABARD 1982, NHB 1988, etc. These organizations not only dwell but also promote the banking habits among the people. During economic reforms, it has taken many initiatives for encouraging and promoting banking in India. Now, the next one, supervisory functions. The first one is granting license to banks. The RBI grants license to bank for carrying its business. License is also given for opening extension counters, new branches, even to close down existing branches. Next, bank inspection. The RBI grants license to banks working as per the directions and in a proper manner without undue risk. In addition to this, it can ask for periodical information from banks on various components of assets and liabilities. Last, implementation of the deposit insurance scheme. The RBI has set up the Deposit Insurance Guarantee Corporation in order to protect the deposits of the small depositors. All bank deposits below rupees 1 lakh are insured with this corporation. The RBI worked to implement the deposit insurance scheme in the case the bank failure. Now, monetary policy. The policy by which the desired level of the money flow and its demand is regulated by the RBI is known as a monetary policy. Monetary policy is maintained through actions such as increasing the interest rate or changing the amount of money banks need to keep in the wallet, bank services, and there are the certain objectives of monetary policy. To maintain the price stability, it is one of their objectives. To ensure the adequate flow of the credit to productive sector so as to assist growth. Arrangement of the full employment. Expansion of the credit facility. Equality and justice, stability in exchange rate. Promotion of fixed deposits. And last, equitable distribution of credit among all the sectors. There are the certain methods and instruments of credit control. These are divided into two parts, quantitative and qualitative, and we will discuss one by one all of them. The first one is the qualitative. Under the qualitative, we are going to discuss the repo rate. Repo rate is the rate at which the RBI lend money to the commercial banks in the event of any shortfall of the funds. Whenever the commercial banks need some funds, then they approach to the RBI, and the interest rate which is charged by the RBI, it is known as the repo rate, and the repo rate is used by RBI to control the inflation. If there is an inflation in the economy, then RBI increases the repo rate as this acts as a disincentive for a commercial bank to borrow from the RBI. Then They will not borrow from the RBI, and this ultimately reduces the money supply in the economy and help in controlling the inflation. Right now, the repo rate is 4%. Bank rate. Bank rate is also known as a discount rate. It is the rate of interest which RBI charge on the loan and advances to the commercial bank. Bank rate influence lending rates of commercial banks. Higher bank rate will translate to higher lending rates by the bank. In order to curb liquidity, the RBI can resort to raising the bank rate and the vice versa. And right now, the bank rate is 4.25%. Both repo rate and bank rate are looking same, but there is a difference in both of them. Repo rate is for the short term and the bank rate is for the long term purpose. Or you can, there is a difference in both of them. Next one is a reverse repo rate. Reverse repo rate is the rate at which the RBI borrow money from the commercial bank within the country. It is a monetary policy instrument which can be used to control the money supply in the economy. An increase in the reverse repo rate means that the commercial bank will get more incentives to park their funds with the RBI, thereby decreasing the supply of the money in the market. Right now, the reverse repo rate is 3.3%. The next one is a marginal standing facility. Marginal standing facility is actually a very short-term borrowing scheme for the scheduled commercial banks. Bank may borrow funds through marginal standing facility during the severe cash shortage or acute shortage of the liquidity. And this generally happens when the bank don't have a money to maintain their cash reserve ratio and SLR. Banks often face liquidity shortfall due to the mismatch in their deposits and loan portfolio. These are usually very short term and the banks can borrow from the RBI for 1 day period by offering dated government securities as a collateral. Marginal standing facility has been introduced by the RBI to reduce volatility in the overnight lending rates in the interbank market and to enable smooth monetary transmission in the financial system. Up to nine, under marginal standing facility, banks can borrow funds overnight up to 1% of their net demand and time liabilities. That is 1% of the aggregate deposits and other liabilities of the bank. Net demand and time liabilities represents a bank's deposits and borrowings from others. Next, statutory liquidity ratio. Apart from the cash reserve ratio, banks have to maintain the statutory liquidity ratio, which are in the liquid form or are in the form of the liquid assets like cash, gold, treasury bills, dated securities issued under the market borrowing program and market stabilization scheme. Banks have to report to the RBI every alternative Friday that their SLR is maintained and pay penalties for failing to maintain the SLR as required by the RBI. Open market operations. Open market operation is an instrument of monetary policy in which buying or selling is take place. We can say buying and selling of the government securities can be take place between public and banks. Open market operations are an effective quantitative policy tool in the hands of the RBI, but are constrained by the stock of government securities available with it at a point in time. Now, the qualitative measures, fixation of the margin requirement. Banker lends money against price of securities. The amount of the loan depends upon the margin requirement of the bankers. The word margin here means the difference between the loan value and the market value of the securities. The central bank has the power to change the margin, which limits the amount to be loaned to be censored by the commercial bank. As clear, during inflation, higher margin would be fixed, while during deflation, lower margin would be fixed. Regulation of the consumer credit. Customer gets this type of foreign exchange reserves and exchange value of rupee in relation to other countries' currency. Currencies should be exchanged only with its RBI or its authorized bank. Credit rationing. It is a method of regulating and controlling purpose for which credit is granted by commercial bank, and it is two types. One is a variable portfolio ceiling and the second one is a variable capital asset ratio. In the first case, the central bank fixes the maximum amount of the loan and advances for every commercial bank. In the second method, the central bank not only fixes a maximum amount but fixes a ratio which the capital of the commercial bank must bear to the total assets of the bank. By changing these ratios, the credit can be regulated or controlled. Moral succession. In this method, actually, the RBI gives advice and suggestion to the bankers to follow their instructions and by sending letters and conducting meetings of the board of directors. Direct action. The bank or the RBI has right to take the direct action against any commercial bank. The directives may be in the form of oral or written statement. By means of these directives, the RBI may decrease or increase the volume of the credit, which automatically increase or decrease the supply of money in the economy. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss non-banking financial corporations. Thank you.